Hey kids, it's the Piston Flyer here, hope you're well, and you join me on another one of these routes from the Bikers Britain book. That's the book's by Simon Weir, published by the AA. This particular route is set in East Anglia in the UK, so the southeast of the UK, the bit that sort of sticks out on the bottom right, specifically in Suffolk, and this particular route is called Southwold Loop, and I'm looking forward to it because it's basically a coastal route. And you join me, in fact I'm not starting in the start place that's suggested in the book, but you join me actually kind of halfway round at Woodbridge, which is a charming little Suffolk town, about 8 miles from the coast. Well, I don't think I've ever been here before, but it looks really nice. And I'm looking forward to the ride, so stick around and stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it. So Woodbridge itself is set on the River Debden. And I suppose it's notable for a few things. Did a bit of research on the place. And first thing, Sir Francis Drake apparently had a couple of his ships built here. In years gone by, this place was famous. Oh look, there's a cannon perhaps from one of his ships. In years gone by, this place was famous for rope making, sail making, shipbuilding. Hence Sir Francis Drake had some of his made here. So that's incredible, isn't it, when you look at the place now. It's just a quaint little Suffolk market town. And it's got that bit of history. The other thing that it's known for more recently is nearby is RAF Woodbridge, and back in the 70s I think it was, there was an incident that became known as the Rendlesham Forest incident, which was one of these UFO sightings. It was kind of a big deal at the time because there was a lot of talk about what was supposed to have happened, I think, is a UFO landed in the forest and was seen by various people, and it was allegedly tracked by the USAF at RAF Woodbridge, and there's typical cover-up type stories all around it, and there is no real evidence as far as I can tell for anything obviously having happened. I don't believe in all that UFO truck, but lots of people, the conspiracy theorists, like to perpetuate it. So look up Rendlesham Forest incident if you want to find out more about the UFOs that or UFO that apparently landed here back in the 70s. Okay, we're going to do a little detour here and head towards a place called Orford. You might have heard of Orford Ness, which is kind of a shingle spit that's on the coast here, and there's some other bits and pieces down there of interest. So haven't been there before, but it's on the route, so we're going to go and have a look. And there's a sign for Rendlesham, which is where the incident happened, of course. And I don't know if you saw on that sign as well, the other thing of interest around here is that we're pretty close to an ancient Anglo-Saxon site called Sutton Hoo, which actually is the most important Anglo-Saxon burial site in the country. It's the one where they found that ship. If you did any Anglo-Saxon history at school, as I did back in the 70s, I remember having a history book that had a picture of that Sutton Hoo ship and a mask and helmet that was found there, a very famous picture. I'll see if I can find a picture actually and stick it on this video, just to remind you. But yeah, that's not far away from here either, and as I say, very important burial site, the most important in fact, some say, in the UK. Another nice pub. My mind is starting to turn to lunch already. Okay, time to move on. So this is the first of the proper biking roads, if you like, on this route. This is the B1084 that roughly goes from Woodbridge to Orford. Twisty road, of course blighted by southeast traffic, as these so often are. And this is Rendlesham Forest, where that UFO landed, apparently. The eyes peeled for any signs of alien life. Why on earth an intelligent alien life form would want to come down and land here is another question, of course. But let's not get into that. Lovely though it is, don't get me wrong. Very interesting sort of landscape around here. The ride up, pretty boring ride, but it's quite a flat part of the country when you come into East Anglia, but this last couple of miles on this B1084, very nice actually. What's this car doing? Take advantage. There goes that. Look at this, lovely and open through the forest, beautiful day for it. Temperature's about 19, 20 degrees, perfect biking weather, absolutely glorious. Lovely to be out on my favourite bike again as well, the big Beamer. It's brilliant for this sort of mission. Love it. So I can see why Simon Weir included this road in the circuit. An absolute corker. It very much is now the sort of last knockings of summer. Technically we're in autumn now. The weather forecast today is sort of intermediate, but actually it's turned out much nicer than forecast. This is just glorious out here. It's completely different to how I imagined. I just didn't expect it to be so rolling in the countryside of Suffolk. Come into the village of Butley. This is one of these roads that if you knew it, you could have a really great time on it. It's really nicely surfaced. There seem to be too many potholes. And lots of elevation changes and some great great corners. Sport, of course, because I'm behind this Skoda, but the Skoda owner is slightly forgiven because he's got one of those think biker stickers in the back. So either he or she is a biker, his or herself, which is good news, or they're at least aware of bikers. So all is forgiven for buying a Skoda. This will be my Skoda passing opportunity. There's nothing coming. Look at this cracking cottage here. That amazing, looks like ivy up the side of it, just turning colour. Wowee. Mind you, with all that ivy eating into your bricks and that thatch, I'm not sure it's a great ownership proposition, but it certainly looks cute. Opportunity knocks again. Thank you, sir. Okay, so it feels like we get very close to Orford now. I'm not sure how close I can get, whether I actually see the spit and the sea. But absolutely wonderful roads again, and I can see why they're included in the route. Southwold Tour. Now, other than the shingle spit, the only other thing that I know about Orford Ness and why I've heard of it is that back in the 70s there was a massive radar station here. I don't know if we'll be able to see any of it. Oh, I can see the castle up there actually. There's also got a castle here called Orford Castle. Anyway, yes, it was a big radar station here as part of the sort of Cold War defences back in the 70s. And that's how it became sort of famous. It used to track Soviet aircraft coming in. Oh, that food smells good. Any signage would be nice. Orford Quay, that sounds hopeful. So I start to wonder if we're going to get into one of those spots that I can't get out of. I hope not. Aha, water. Here we are, the quay, made it, brilliant. Riverside tea room, now there's a thought. How cool is that? Right, time for one quick snap, I think. Well, what a splendid little place Orford was. Well worth a little divert to come and have a look at. I managed to resist the tea shop there. Thought I would hold off for some later venues. I think there's going to be plenty of options as I head towards Aldeburgh, again on the coast. Okay, now though, I'm heading off via a little village called Tunstall to Snape, and again, not somewhere I've been, and I think relatively touristy. I say relatively because, you know, we're in Suffolk, but anyway, so looking forward to that. And there's a nice road to get us there. Very impressive church up ahead. So let's see what this section of the route holds for us. Look at that church, massive. Incredible how they used to build such huge places for such relatively small towns. Right, I'm going against the GPS here because what I want to do is go down the B1078, which is the road that Simon Weir recommends, and it looks like it's just up here on the left. Not the quickest way to Snape, but perhaps the best biking road to get there. I love these sort of forested areas. I noticed earlier there was a campsite down there, which is a great place to come and stay and camp if you've got kids, or indeed if you're just some sort of nutter that likes camping. I love these little undulations where you just get the just feel the suspension compressing under you and extending on the crests. Marvellous road, invented for motorcycles. Look at this, superb. Yeah, hey, got a bit of air off the top there. This is where you really appreciate the agility of the GS. It's a great bike for touring on motorways, but also fantastic for this sort of work. Oh, 30-mile-an-hour limit, that's the end of my fun for now. Well, that was a lovely stretch. Okay, let's find Snape then. It's the scourge of the countryside. Horses. The good thing about horses is that they are usually accompanied by an attractive female. I don't know if that's going to hold true in this case, but let's check. Maybe not. Where am I going? Gosh. Equestrian centre. Jodhpurs everywhere. Marvellous. It's a very pleasant little spot. Okay, concentrate. This really is a part of the world I know very little about. I've never been down here at all, I don't think ever. And I've missed out because it's lovely. So here we are, this is Snape, and specifically Snape Maltings there on the right. Wow, an impressive looking place. This is a bit of a sort of a cultural centre. There's galleries and arty types here. Oh look, and there's a wherry. Just saw some sails there, don't know if I can see it as I go over here. Lovely. We're just coming into the village stroke town of Snape proper now. And this, believe it or not, according to my research, was mentioned back in the Doomsday Book in 1085. Incredible. I mean, it's only a tiny place now, however big must it have been then? Not very, I think. Anyway, more recently, it became, well, not famous, but what its claim to fame is that the process here of making fertiliser out of something called coprolite was developed, and that process led to a bit of what was known as the Suffolk gold rush, as people came here to make money out of using this process and making fertilisers and selling them around the world. It led to a company starting up here called Fison's, which I remember from being a child. It was a big agricultural company, part of AstraZeneca, I believe. Okay, so that's Snape. Next on our little tour on the Southwold Loop is Aldeburgh, and I have been to Aldeburgh many times. It's a lovely seaside spot, so I'm going to check that out, and maybe that'll be my lunch stop. Let's see what it's got to offer. Okay, so just about a 5-mile ride on the A1094 brings you from Snape into Aldeburgh. And Aldeburgh, it's got a big shingle beach, and it's one of those blue flag beaches or whatever they call it in Euroland, so that it's super clean. And it's rumoured to have 2 of the best chip shops in Britain. I'm pretty sure all coastal places probably claim that, but hopefully that's the case. And once again, this is another one of these nautical towns with claims to fame, where Sir Francis Drake had a couple of his ships built here again. They were called Pelican and Greyhound, are rumoured to have been built here. Well, I don't know if it's rumour or actual fact. This is starting to look a bit more beachy now. Aldeburgh's big claim to fame is that the composer Benjamin Britten used to live here. I think during his teens and then again in his 30s. And there's somewhere around, there's one of those houses with the blue plaque saying Benjamin Britten lived here. And I just passed a road actually called Britain Road. So there are some modern day references around. This is Aldeburgh town. Pretty likely looking place to find somewhere to eat, I think. Ah, there's one of the chip shops, which I really must resist. Okay, I've popped out the back end of the town. Interesting bit of off-roady stuff there. Dare I do it? Of course I dare. Oh, thank goodness for the experience on the CRF. Okay, then it gets seriously shingly. I know my limits, but there's the sea. Wow, I do big skies around here. Gravel fun. Right, to more important matters, lunch. Splendid, looks like a likely spot. So that's Aldeburgh. Turned out to be a cracking little place. Top quality food. Great little restaurant. I wish I'd left the camera running actually, because, well, let's just say the serving operatives were particularly special. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, I recommend munches at Aldeburgh if ever you find yourself here and you want a snack. Okay, next thing is to get to Southwold, which is what this Southwold Loop is, of course, named after. And we're going to do that via, where are we going via? Thorpeness, if I can. So it's going to take me down by the beach a bit, I think, and hope. Who buys a Daewoo Takuma? Shouldn't be allowed, should it? What a horrible car. That is somebody with no self-respect whatsoever. Let's just give you a full view of it. There it is, the mighty Takuma. Sorry, but it's just got nothing good going for it, is it? Okay, so I've popped out onto the beach road. Very nice. Now that over there is a sculpture. I don't know if you can see that on the beach. The GoPro tends to make things look a lot further away than they are. But that's a sculpture. I did read about it once, but I can't remember what the heck I read about it. But anyway, it was put there in about 2002 to celebrate something or other, I don't know. But anyway, it's arty. Aldeburgh's a very arty place, and there's a bit on the beach that like a big shell. It's a massive beach. Okay, up ahead is Thorpeness, and I can't help but notice I can see a nuclear power station. But anyway, maybe less said about that the better. This really is a bit of Britain that is undersung, because I mean, it's not even a particularly nice day. Okay, it's pleasant for very early October, very pleasant in fact, but I mean in the summer this would be absolutely glorious. Great walks, great beach, lovely little town with lots of restaurants and pubs. Winner. I guess best not to tell too many people about it is the trick. So there we have it, the throbbing heart of Thorpeness. What a lovely little place. Isn't that beautiful? Little duck pond and lake thing. Some sort of house on stilts up there. Well, that's a splendid place ahead. Splendid pub. It's all very splendid. Right, so massive thumbs up for Aldeburgh and Thorpeness. Oh, there's that house on stilts, look. Weird. Sure, somewhere around here I saw a nuclear power station. Might be a slight blot on the landscape. So this is the B1353 out of Thorpeness. Another one of these brilliant twisty, turny, undulating roads. Only marred by traffic. But living in southeast England, I'm kind of used to that. Check mirrors. Fabulous road though, and another winner that Simon Weir has included. Oh, what's he doing? Hello, sir. It's very strange looking locals around here. I wonder if that's anything to do with the nuclear power station, the stuff that's getting in the water. That nuclear power station, of course, is Sizewell. And it's a massive bit of kit. When I've flown the airplane down this way, you can see it from miles around. Such a lovely area here. It's a shame that it's there, but I guess it's there precisely because it's sparsely populated and by the coast. Tell you what, the local Skoda dealer must be doing a great trade here in Suffolk because there's loads of Skodas here. This is another corking road. This is the A1122. Another one of these great sweepers. And the sort of road that, unless you were told about it, or you know, you had the book from Simon Weir, then you wouldn't necessarily know it was here. You know, you'd miss out on these fabulous corners. Okay, so this is the turn off to Dunwich. Yet another coastal spot. Don't think I've ever been here. I'm hoping for some reasonable views. Might even get a better view of Sizewell B, the power station. I keep talking about, but I'm not convinced I've actually given you a good sight of yet. And the sun's come out again on this splendid little place, Westleton I think it's called. And I just got all excited because I saw a Husqvarna dealer, and it turned out it was Husqvarna lawnmowers, not motorcycles. Hey ho. What a splendid little green. You really can't beat Blighty when the sun's out. It's a brilliant place. Right, let's follow them again.